welcome to another amazing Wednesday. And Wednesdays mean what? It's time for another edition of Live and Unscripted with Jen and Leah. I'm so excited today to bring a guest who we've had in the previousness of Live and Unscripted back with us in the present to share with you some magic that she has going on in her world uh, that has a lot to do with dreams coming true. So let's do a few items of housekeeping and then we will move forward with the yumminess of this program. I think today, mostly we have 100 days of expansion. Lee and I are still working on ours. We're hoping you're working on yours. If you haven't actually registered to be a part of that, so that you can be part of a bi-weekly Zoom call where we can talk about it. If you want a buddy, that's a part of the program. Excuse me, but then also just the accountability piece. We'll put the registration link in the comments. We did start this on November 1st. It's not too late to start. It will go until, I believe, the middle of February. Just really the basis of this was for us to end this year powerfully and with movement. I know as we get into the holidays and it can get and feel crazy and we start feeling stressed out, that we tend to back off some of our goals or our intentions or things we're wanting to accomplish. And this was just a really fun way for us to get in, be really intentional with the end of the year, be intentional with the holidays, be intentional with the beautiful things that we're creating in the Righteous Rebels, and then to already have powerful momentum moving into 2024 and leading into February, when most of y'all will have forgotten what your New Year's resolutions probably were to begin with. So it really just is an opportunity to start momentum for next year now and to do it in a really fun way. So you can click that link and register if you want to participate in the expansion in a group setting. If not, that's okay too. Let's see. We also have registration for Surviving Life and Leadership that is being held August 14th through the 20th. This is our leadership retreat. This is a tax write-off. This is business. This is life. 6 days of awesome on the river while you're learning of all the other amazing things. Looking forward to just like having that experience with you. And my mind is so full of so many thoughts today. They're all wanting to come out at once. It was really fun to be in the retreat that we just participated in Florida, the Women Supporting Women, and to see who will be on the river from there. And you're going to want to hang with these ladies. They have a lot to teach. And I know that your life will not be the same partly because you'll be hanging with cool women, and partly because the river is absolutely amazing. And the lessons that nature teaches are things that sometimes we just can't get in our everyday life. So registration that is open. It's only a $500 deposit. You don't have to pay the whole thing right up front. There is a 2 payment plan available. If you choose to do it that way, that's fabulous. We really just want you registered and in the boat. So anything else, Leah?
The vision board, November 30th.
Yes, thank you. Come share. My thoughts are like really scattered. I apologize. I don't apologize. No, it's really. Life. Yeah, it's what it is.
Part of it. We did something pretty awesome this morning, so our energy stores are not quite there yet.
Well, and I think I'm thrown
being restored.
Right, still thrown a little bit. We're having some like technical boogeyman going on, and so it's life. Yeah. It's life, and this is like me giving you permission to like feel like this too. It's totally okay.
So yeah, November 30th, we are hosting our Rebel board. So it's an opportunity to kind of visualize what you want to feel in 2024. Again, all part of the 100 days of expansion. It's never too late to join, as Jen said. I think what would really help us.
Wait, is that Q4 join now?
Yeah.
Like click the button in the comments and join now. We'd love to have you.
Absolutely. I feel like we should probably breathe for a second.
I was thinking we should probably breathe for a second. Okay, seriously, trying to get all this stuff ready, and we've got Merriann waiting in the green room and on the side, like, oh, give us 15 minutes while we figure out the issues. And so, thank you to her for graciously knowing that life happens as well. Will you lead the breathing? I think I need to just breathe and not
just breathe. Yeah. So we're just gonna do a simple breathing today. Just hand on your heart. It helps you just recenter. I know we get excited. We're so go, go, go. I know I'm still like settling down from the run, and like my heart's just like, I want to get 100 things done at once. So it's just a great way to just resettle, recenter. So I'll invite you to, you can close your eyes or have a downward gaze, and we're just gonna breathe in and slowly on the way out. Forgot to mention the hold at the top, but that's okay. We're just breathing, being mindful. I want you to really pay attention how you're feeling your body, where your feet are. Actually, let's start from our feet. Let's breathe from our feet, from the soles of our feet, and bring that breath all the way up through our calves, through our knees, up through our thighs, to our hips. Feel it in your belly, up through your chest, and right at the top. You can hold it for a second and then let it down all the way back down through your chest, through your belly, all the way down through your hips, your legs, and push that breath right out through your feet. You can do that again on your own, or breathe. Okay.
Yeah, I needed that today.
Right? Totally seriously needed that.
It just makes me so flustered. I don't know about you, but
technology.
I do not profess to be a technology whiz in any way, shape, or form. I know enough to like cause trouble to like move my way around, but I don't really. Some of the things that like popped up today, I'm like, why are they popping up? I pay you so that these things don't pop up. Like, I haven't changed anything. So I just, like, my mind tends to get a little flustered with that. Plus I was trying to eat my breakfast. Plus I knew we had a guest who was waiting, like, it just, the things. And so breathing today was really good for me. Even though I got to spend an hour breathing in nature, it's just, this is a different kind of just like settling. And what I love about it is we get to do it with you, but then also the reminder that this is something so simple that you can pause when you're feeling in those moments of just like, and just breathe in deeply. A lot of us want to stay stuck breathing up here in our chest, but focus on pushing that air down, breathing into your belly, into your sit bones, into your hips. And like, I love how you did that today, like breathing through your feet and then bringing it up through your body. So it's just pausing.
What was it like for Merriann? Why don't we invite her on?
Yeah, let's just bring Merriann right on the screen. We love Merriann. We're so excited today to share what's going on. There you go. Merriann, what was breathing like for you today?
Oh, I needed it. I was having technical issues on my side too. So it's not just you. We got it figured out. Now here we are. Right. And I am thrilled to be here. So thank you for that exercise. It was definitely much needed.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that bear is so dang cute.
Right. I just want to say thanks for taking that over, like, without knowing.
That's how we roll. That's okay. Pass the ball, you pass it to me, I'll pass it to you, and we keep going. It's how we roll alongside. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into this bear. Well, first of all, just Merriann. Merriann is somebody who we met about 1.5 years ago at another women's conference, business for women, and down in Pocatello. And Merriann runs, is the company called, I just know, Live to Lead.
Yeah, so Infinity and Beyond is my coaching business.
Thank you. I knew there was. Yes. Okay. Infinity and Beyond.
I love that.
Well, we want to make sure we get the links and stuff and Leah's doing that right now. Tell me again, remind me and our guests what Live to Lead is.
So it's a leadership empowerment opportunity. We bring in John C. Maxwell along with other incredible leaders, and we are able to have a 4-hour packed leadership opportunity via a live simulcast or a replay simulcast from around the world. Pocatello, Idaho is one of, we had, I want to say 400 host sites around the world this year, and we got to be one of them. And then I bring in local leaders to speak too. So it's a full day leadership empowerment opportunity to just allow people to speak into you to help you become the best you that you can be.
I love it. I think that one sticks out in my mind because last October you held one here in Idaho Falls that I got to participate in, and yes. I loved it. I loved it. And again, it's one of those things where when we're starting new things, they may not have the numbers of people that we want and all of this big vision, but we still do it. We still continue forward with the vision and with the dream. And it was a really incredible experience. And I learned new things, and I love the people that I got to hobnob and rub shoulders with. So I think that's part of why that one sticks out for me. And because I know it's something that you're really passionate about. And I just love the efforts that you put into it, like wholeheartedness, just helping people be the best that they can be that way. Okay, so I know that you have bigger dreams and bigger visions, and we've talked about land, and we've talked about clean, safe, sober housing for women who have experienced domestic violence or abuse, or have been in the prison system. I know you've got big dreams that way. Visions of Hope is part of that. Today we're going to introduce the babybearsclub.com, which is part of that cutie on your lap right now. Where I really want to just give you the platform, unless Leah has some questions or things off, because this is the first time Leah's getting to meet you and have the opportunity to see your awesomeness as well.
It's nice to meet you, Leah.
It's nice to meet you too. Well, I'm curious because I haven't had that experience with you, but I think of that question that you always ask is.
Let me start there. Just so you know, we have interviewed Merriann before on Live and Unscripted. It's on the Facebook page. Maybe we can go and we'll also look that up so that we can put it on the righteousrebels.com page. But that was a really good interview, and that would be a way to introduce her. But I know where you're going with that, so I'm going to let you ask it.
So a question I really enjoy that Jen asks her guests is what were you like as a child? Like where did all this fire and awesomeness start from?
Well, for me, I had an incredible childhood. Our family was really close. We did a lot of fun things all the time. I remember motorcycle riding, camping. We were always outdoors doing fantastic things. And then when I grew up, unfortunately, as a young adult, some very traumatic things happened that forever changed my world. And I had no idea how much it affected me going through childhood sexual abuse. It was not from any family members. It was something that I kept inside of me my whole life. It started at 4 years old. It went on for several years. And it was something that I just was ashamed of talking about. And so I kept it inside. And then that landed me into a dysfunctional marriage of domestic violence that only lasted a year, thank goodness. But I was with him for 6.5 years. And
oh, wow. I don't think I remembered that.
What was that?
I don't think I remembered that piece.
Yeah. So when I left him and I said, no more of this, I'm done with you, I was determined to never let anybody hurt me again. But I had no idea the effect that had on me emotionally. And so I carried that baggage into my marriage now. I've been with my husband we just celebrated our 31st wedding anniversary. He was my knight in shining armor. We have 2 incredible sons and beautiful daughter-in-laws, and grandbaby number 4 is on the way. So
no way.
Absolutely. I know. It's incredible. It's so like cool. Grandma's the bestest in the world. But that trauma I carried into my marriage now, and it almost destroyed my marriage when we were first together. So our first 10 years of our marriage was very difficult. And I'm grateful the Lord got a hold of me and helped me heal and realize I became that abuser. Not physically, but emotionally. I carried that baggage. I started emotionally abusing my husband through screaming and just all the things you don't want to happen. And so
I just say, I really honor and commend like this conversation that we're having right now, that you own that one, you recognized it, you own it. You're like, wow, I'm actually just passing on what was done. And that I just am appreciating that you're willing to talk about it, because I think there are a lot of things in most of our lives that are just everyday humanity things that we get caught up in and caught up in like a shame storm, and we don't want to talk about them, when in reality we don't want to admit it. We think it means something about us, when in reality, when you can say like, this was my experience, I recognize I brought it into my marriage and I became the abuser. Like, there's so much power in that. And I love that we can bring it right here and normalize it. Not like, it's not okay to continue. It's okay to recognize and then say, what can I do about it? So just thank you. Thank you for just owning that and just putting it right out there.
Thank you. And, unfortunately, this is more common than not. Yeah. But I didn't realize that in 2004, 5, and 6, when I started my healing journey, I didn't recognize that it was more common. And the more I went through it, and once I became on the other side and started to heal, my marriage healed with my husband now, and we are in our empty nest stage, and we're best friends, and it gets better all the time, and we can still cherish the moments with our family and our children. And so now we do have those fun times and memories with our families. But there was a season where it was pretty dark, and I didn't know that I would be married for very long, but I thank God for the grace of God that he pulled me through. But yeah, it is common. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I do, because it doesn't have to be the acceptable way of life. I became so chronically depressed, and I thought, if this is the only thing there is to live for, do I really want to be here? Because there's got to be so much more to life than this.
Right.
So for me, I dove into my faith. So whatever that is for anybody, whatever that grounding piece is for you, for me, it's the Lord, but whatever that is, to find that. And that's where my driving force is. I've volunteered up at the prison for 20 years. I've been working with incarcerated individuals and individuals coming out for close to 24 years now. And I've recognized something that's common, and it's a form of abuse. So we get to help in that area.
Yeah. I love when you said the Lord got a hold of me. Like,
right?
What was that moment for you? Would you be open to sharing that? Or if not, that's totally cool. I just love how you said that, because I feel like it's like, hey, you come here, like a shaking moment, a moment of reckoning is what it sounded like when you said it.
It really was. And I had my faith, I had my walk, had that journey going on, but to really have that relationship, I had really started to dive into that. And I remember one night, I'm going to tell you a specific story. I was at my kitchen table and I was working, and it was getting late, and my husband was downstairs watching TV, and he just happened to walk in the room, and I just came uncorked on him and just started yelling at him, would you just go help the children, get them ready for bed? I'm working my butt off trying to make my business work. You're doing nothing to help me. All you do is sit around, watch TV, which was all wrong. He was an incredible supporter. But in my mind, I didn't know how to compartmentalize the trauma that I was dealing with. So it was blowing out like an explosive piece of dynamite. But at that moment, I recognized, it felt like somebody started squeezing my heart, and it hurt. It physically hurt so bad. At that moment, I recognized how badly I hated myself. And at that moment, I realized I did not want to continue destroying my marriage or my family. So when I started really diving into the Lord in prayer and asking him for help, because he told me at that moment, you got to take a look at you. You got to quit blaming your circumstances. And I think it's really common when we don't really understand the root of what's going on. We just have all this craziness in our life going on. It's easy to blame the outward circumstances when really that's not what the problem is. It's what something in us that's unsettled. And so that's been my journey. When he got a hold of me, I dove into prayer and support, asking for help with him. And over time, I started to recognize how much I really started to like myself. I wasn't that bad, awful person that I believed I was for so long, or that I was told I was, which is where I come into the positive affirmations with the bear. But I wasn't that bad person.
So was part of that recognition of you're not a bad person, was it learning to decipher? So Lee and I have been having this conversation. I've had it for years with various people, but recently we've been having this conversation of things that happen to us when we're younger or when we're growing up, and we think those things are us, and we carry the shame or the guilt or the whatever, the blame. Do you think part of your learning to like yourself, I'm a believer that we're none of the stuff that happens to us. We're none of the stuff we wear. We're none of the stuff we eat. We're none of the stuff we're all of that stuff is just stuff we experience. Do you feel like part of that for this liking yourself is just a recognition of like that stuff that happened to me? It's and actually for me, for growth experiences, and just as recognition that you're far bigger than any of that. So like what was that deciphering for you? Like, wait a second. I actually am pretty dang cool. And I like me. In fact, I love me.
Absolutely. You know, I had to get past that victim mentality. I think I carried that baggage with me for a really long time. And then so when
explain what victim mentality is in your words or your world for someone who is like, okay, I hear that, but I just don't know.
Yep. So for me, it was, I could easily take on offense. If somebody said something because they were having a bad day, I could take on an offense and personalize it and believe I was the blame. And everybody was against me, no matter what I did. The relationships and the places where I worked, everybody was against me. Well, when you realize there's a common denominator everywhere you go, you got to take a serious look at what that common denominator is, and it's you.
Right.
And so when I started to recognize that, and when the Lord told me that day, you got to quit blaming everybody else. We're talking like a 2x4 hit me over the head. You got to look at you.
That like get your attention.
Right. I had to ask him. I'm like, okay, then Lord, you have to show me what it is. And the things he showed me, I mean, his promise for me, and I'm going into my faith for a minute here, because that's why I'm here.
This is one of the things that I absolutely love and adore about you is how dare you hold your faith and how unabashedly and unashamedly you share it. So
thank you.
Go for it.
Thank you. So diving into that and being able to recognize that and walking on that journey, and I kind of lost where my thought was going for a second, but it'll come back.
Right, wandering.
But being able to recognize that, and the promise of the Lord was that it's in Psalms 37, 4-6. And this is the scripture that I held on to through this season of 18 months of rewiring my soul, because I didn't want to lose my marriage. I didn't want to lose my family. I wanted it to be good. And his promise is, if you walk in my ways and follow my commands, you'll see these things come to pass, the desires of your heart. But the key is to walk in his ways and follow him. And for me, that's what I needed to do. But I had to learn what that walk looked like. It didn't mean being perfect. It meant just turning my head and saying, yes, Lord, use me and heal me. And as I turned my ways to him, that's when he started to help me realize that, and it's in Romans 8, good things come out of all things. Good comes out of all things for those who are called and walk according to his purpose. And so I held on to those promises. I wanted a good marriage. I wanted a healed family. I needed to be healed because something was burning inside of me to help other women. And I can't be broken and help other women being broken. So I dove into everything I could with the help of the Lord to learn what those trigger points were. I did the whole spider graph thing, the olden days thing.
I love it. Okay, so as you're talking, I love all of that.
Thank you.
But I'm also having this thought come to my mind, like giving permission for women and men who need to step out of and away from their marital relationships, because we want things to work, but they're not always going to work. And again, it may be part of, I don't know what your belief says that way, but I don't know that I'm a believer that we're necessarily supposed to stay with people forever anymore. And maybe some people come in for a season, but if you're in a relationship, marriage or otherwise, and it's not changing. It's okay to leave.
Yes.
Let's say it's okay to leave.
Here's someone brought this to my attention one time and said, you know what? We are all God's children, no matter where we are, what we're doing. He loves us equally, right? And what parent in their right mind would want their child to go through domestic abuse?
Absolutely.
The name calling. I mean, we try to build our children up. We try to help them to grow up with the right tools necessary to be the very best person they can be, and to be ripped apart through relationships or through people. And a lot of times we have a choice to walk away from a bad friendship, but we don't always have that choice when we're in that marriage. But I really believe personally, if I would have stayed in that physical damaging relationship, I honestly don't know that I would be here today. I believe that it's a personal thing for that individual. You have to say, do I want to live my life, the rest of my life, like this? Because we were put on this life and this planet for a purpose far greater than we could ever think or imagine. God's word says, I have plans for hope and a future for you. And if you're not living that, there's something out of balance. Right?
Agreed. I just want to make sure that the person or persons who hear this, because I love the idea of, like, you know what, I really value my marriage and I want to stay in it. But there are times when I do think we are called to leave, or it's necessary to leave for physical or mental or spiritual safety, emotional safety. Just that things aren't probably going to change, that we let people know that we're not saying stay in relationships that are not healthy. We're not saying that at all.
Yeah. No. It can't be a one-sided thing. It has to be a mutual respect for each other. Yeah. And if it's a one-sided thing and you're always trying to be more perfect and better, and for me in my ex marriage, I was never good enough. Yeah. And and those seeds were planted in my head. If you would just do this harder, or if you would just do this better, or if you were just this way a little bit more, oh, why don't you change your looks a little bit? No. Mm-hmm. God made me this way for a reason, and he loves me for me. If I change and conform to the ways of the world, I am worthless to my calling.
Yeah, you're betraying yourself.
I'm sorry, right? You are. You've got to be true to who you really are. And that's why I love being able to dive into that and whatever that is for you, finding out who you really are. And that's where I get to come in. And that's why I'm so passionate about what I do.
I love it. What were you going to say?
Just in that same vein of, I think sometimes we stay in unhealthy relationships because it's not overtly physical or dangerous, or and we start questioning ourselves and things that don't feel healthy, but it's not bad enough, and we want to stick to that story. I know that's been my experience, and in moving through my relationship is I never thought it was that bad, and you just keep going through those things, and it just keeps getting worse and worse, and like you said, you can't do it alone. You can continue to talk and do all those things, but I think sometimes that just keeps us in it, because it's not. Mm-hmm. I relate to what you're saying. Like that was my mom's experience growing up with my dad, and he could be very physical and violent, and gaslighting, all that stuff. And even at that, like that was challenging for her to leave, because it would be really sweet and really kind, and it would give her hope, and you get caught up in that trauma loop, that crisis and calm. I'm not thinking of the right word, but
it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle, and it just goes in circles. And I had the same feelings you did with my ex. It's not bad enough. He can toss me around. There's people out there that are a lot worse.
Yeah. Right.
But when I stepped out of that relationship and finally got the strength to leave, I went to a YWCA advocate group, which is now here in Pocatello, Family Services Alliance. But I went to the advocate group, and my mom took me to Boise at that time. And this was back in the late 80s. And I ended up meeting with their crisis counselor, and she had me fill out a questionnaire. And the questionnaire was 3 pages. And she said, if you can say yes to more than like 5 questions, you are considered a victim of domestic violence.
Oh, wow. You're like, no.
2 things I could not answer yes to were, have you thought of killing him, and has he threatened to kill you? Something clicked in my head at that moment to make me realize, if that's the next step, I'm in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
And it would have been so much easier for me to go back, because that was the place of comfort.
We know it, even if it's crappy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, and then the lies started coming in about me. And at that point, I really had to just say, you know what, I'm not going to defend myself. It's up to God to do that for me. But I wouldn't say negative things to him, to our mutual friend, or about him to our mutual friends. And I just had to know that the Lord was my vindicator, and that he was going to pull me through. And he did. Those friends started to come to me because they started to see what was really happening.
I was going to say, how did you find that courage and that strength that you just talked about to make those changes?
You know what? It's kind of funny. I told my best friend what was happening finally, and I was embarrassed to go back on my word. How silly is that? But I had gone to the advocate at that point, and I had read that whole, oh my gosh, this is the next 2 steps. I don't want to kill anybody, and I don't want to be dead.
Right.
I just knew that there was something serious, and I dove in at that point with some faith and prayer, and the Lord pulled me through, and I'm so grateful.
Well, it sounds like also he put good people in your world as friends to be
absolutely
like, here's what's going on. We're gonna help you figure your way through this. And
I couldn't have done it without my family. With the help of the Lord and my family, my parents were incredibly supportive, and my brother, and yeah, it was pretty amazing.
That's super cool. And it's just, what a blessing. I'm not sure the word.
It just makes me so curious. One, what drew you to the work that you do at the women's prison, but how at the same time I could see why it's so fitting, and that you're noticing the undertone of abuse of one form or another, and how does that affect you? I'm curious, and just what that experience has been for you.
Are you asking, just so that I'm clear too, are you asking how the work of the women's prison affects her? Or
that, and how, I'm just curious how that what that work is for you. What does it look like? And how does it support you? And did you ever, I'm also curious, did you ever have a moment where it's been really challenging to do that work because of your own experience?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I started facilitating Celebrate Recovery through through Rocky Mountain Ministries Church at that time. And I had facilitated for 3.5 years. And then I was invited to go in with a friend. And I was like, well, boy, howdy. I was a little terrified. So God and I argued for 6 months, but he won. And then when I started,
it's funny, he seems to always win.
He does. And it would have been so easy if I would have just surrendered and said, okay. But what happened when I would drive home from work, I had to drive at the base of the hill where our local prison is here in Pocatello. And I had to drive past that location every night. And the Holy Spirit would just overwhelm me with tears. And I would bawl for an hour, just emotional. And I was feeling their defeat and their helplessness, their hopelessness. And finally I said, okay, Lord, you got to open the doors. And a friend of mine invited me to go in and be a guest speaker. And it was packed. I think we had about 50 women show up, which was huge. And I was so blessed, but I didn't want to be the one that would say something that would hurt them, because I had people in my past that would say things about religion that kept me away from church for a really long time, because I believed I had to be perfect. Right. I believed that I was a screw up. I was full of shame, and I would never be good enough. And so I had to overcome a lot of those obstacles. And so I was on my healing journey a little bit at that time, but not full blown. But the cool thing is that I had started the prison ministry. I had started another nonprofit organization, feeding and helping clothe the less fortunate in the community. I'd started those, and I had written a book. My book is on my abuse and the 3 steps the Lord took me through to overcome that abuse.
Remind me the name of your book.
Overcome and Born Again. And the author is HS for the Holy Spirit, and it's Yeshua, Jeshua. And if they buy it through me, I can donate 100% of the proceeds to our crisis shelters or a crisis shelter of their choice.
And we'll make sure that we have the link to put. What is that link? Let's just.
You know what? If they contact me through Infinity Beyond Idaho, that's my website for my coaching. So it's infinitybeyondidaho.com.
Okay.
They can do a contact form and reach out to me that way, and I can get one to them. I hold them on hand. They're $20, and I can donate all the proceeds. I pay just over $4 per book, so it helps in areas where federal funding can't. But the cool thing about sorry, yes.
Again, I'm just going to say for you, the listener, or pass this along like that, and purchase the book from Merriann so that the funds can be donated here locally. I think I also heard you say if someone purchases, I can't remember if it was you or someone else. If they purchase from another state, you can donate to something in their area.
Yep, a crisis shelter of their cost. Yep.
Okay, that's what I'm like. I'm pretty sure I've heard you say that. Okay, so whether or not you're buying in Idaho or in Iowa or Florida, purchase from Merriann, and then she can directly give the proceeds to a charity of your choice in your area. So I think that's such a fabulous way to do that, and I appreciate you reminding me of that.
Thank you. So the cool thing about all of that is that the Lord used me for all of these things when I did not believe in myself. I had not gone through my healing experience in 2005 and 6 until after these things had happened. So it doesn't matter. A lot of people think we have to know it all and we have to have it all figured out. And I'm not in a place. No, if you want to make a difference in the world, just say yes and trust that through that journey. That's why I love what you do with the outdoors, the river, and nature. Through the journey of our life, that's when the healing process takes place. We'll never be completely healed up or completely ready or completely perfect. That'll never happen. Just do it and find what fulfills your heart and start making a difference in the world. And on that journey is the healing process. And that's where you become the incredible person that you are, is on that journey. It's not a destination. It's something that's going to happen on a daily basis. If you choose to say yes and look into things, no matter what they are, find the positive in it, find the good in it.
I love it that you're saying say yes. 2, you're saying go play with Jen and Leah in the outdoors.
Absolutely.
You're reminding people that what we teach as well is that you already are the greatness.
Absolutely.
You're already it. And part of what the three of us do, whether we do it collectively or we do it through our different businesses, is remind you that all the stuff that's been placed upon you is just stuff. It can be shoveled away. It can be removed. It's not who you are. It's the growth experiences that you have been given or you chose or whatever your belief system says as your humanness down here on this planet. So you already are the greatness. So thank you for that.
Welcome.
But we're talking about healing, and we're talking about sharing hope and visions of hope through the world and bringing out people's greatness. And I think that is a really good segue into why I wanted to talk with you today and share this new piece that helps you fulfill your greater vision and dreams. And that is the Baby Bears Club, starring Baby Bear, her or himself.
This is Baby Bear Believer. And I was just inducted into the Chamber of Commerce, the Chiefs, and they named me Chief Believer for my faith. So that's how Baby Bear Believer got her name. And she is a pioneer. This is the first. We designed her through the design phase. Lots of prayers to end up with something so adorable and plush and cute. She is 13 inches from the bottom of her rump to the top of her ears. And she is squishable, lovable. And I love this little pioneer because she is going to be pioneering hundreds of thousands of bears around the world, spreading.
Wait, how many?
hundreds of thousands of bears.
I love it. And guess what? Everyone listening to this, pass it along and help become part of the hundreds of thousands.
Absolutely. You know what? Anybody that purchases through babybearsclub.com right now will be a founding member, because we have just ordered a few weeks ago. We have 3,000 of these little bears in production. They're going to be shipped at the end of December to be here by the first part of February. So you will get a printable gift receipt that you can put in your stocking, and you can have that as a gift for Christmas. So you're getting a double gift, because then you get the bear for Valentine's Day, right?
Right. Well, and you know, if sometimes a gift receipt doesn't seem so cool for a little one or maybe a big one, you can buy a little tiny bear as a buddy while this one waits for its buddy.
That's a great idea.
Just a thought.
So let me tell you what's so precious about this little bear. This idea has been on my heart from the Lord for over 10 years. And he would bring it forth a little bit here and there. And then on March 27th of this year, he asked me to lay everything down and run with this. And every door opened, the provision for the finances, the warehousing facility, the company to work through. And it has been an incredible experience. So the idea behind the bear is the Visions of Hope is the name of our land. So every bear that goes out, people are going to have access to go to our website and learn about our land and what we're doing. So we're going to be taking proceeds from the sales of the bears and purchasing 40 acres of land and establishing it with long-term safe, clean, sober housing. We'll be housing 21 women coming out of prison and victims of abuse. We'll have a corporate headquarters. Our counselors will be being able to bring life to people by helping empower them, by raising them up in their giftings, helping them to be able to be the very best person that they are. So not only are you investing in this bear that spreads positive affirmations, so check this out. A recent study that I heard just this week said that 90% of men that end up in prison were told at one point in their life, you're going to end up in prison. Words are so powerful in our lives, and we are affected at such a young age. How many times do we hear no, right? We are affected. And then when somebody says something positive, unfortunately, we focus as humans on the negative.
Yep.
So listen to this.
You are so special. You are incredible. You are so awesome. You can do amazing.
Can you hear it?
You are a world changer. Be the best you. You're a kind of person. Jesus loves you. You are loved. You are brave. You are kind. You are smart. You are wonderful. You are a keeper. I love you.
Okay, so share one. I love the affirmations, but share a little bit about the voice behind the affirmations. I've seen a picture, but share. Did we put that in the video?
So
share a little bit about the voice behind the affirmations.
I would have loved to have used my grandbabies, but they can't talk yet at that point when I did the recording.
Right.
So we had a friend of ours that had a 5-year-old at that point. And she's the one, our local radio station owner, Paul Anderson, KZBQ, Core 104, he let us use his recording studio. And we went in and she recorded the positive affirmations for us.
That is incredible.
And she is so proud of this little bear. So she doesn't know it yet, but she has one coming to her. Yeah, she's a doll baby. But also the cool thing about the bear is that you can record up to 3 minutes of a personal message. So my mama was just in the hospital for about 2 months with COVID pneumonia recently, and she couldn't get to the great grandbabies and her family. So we took Baby Bear Believer into the hospital, and she recorded a message. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it, but.
Hi, everybody. I miss you so much. I love you so much, and I can't wait to see you.
So.
Up to 3 minutes.
Up to 3 minutes.
Wow.
So when you adopt a bear and sponsor a child, it can be a grandchild of yours. It can be your child. It can be a child being rescued out of sex trafficking. It can be a child that is a military family that doesn't have their parents with them. They can record messages back and forth and send the bear back and forth if they want. It can be.
What about
Anybody.
I would say, yeah, what about like adult children?
It can be anybody. And yes, there are people in hospitals. What about St. Jude's Hospital? What about your parents, your grandparents that are in nursing homes that can't
Yeah,
get
I would say, what about all the people in nursing homes or
everybody.
care facilities?
The bear is good for anybody that breathes. And so,
say
what was that?
Again.
I just think of Jen's dad had a birthday last month, I think it was recently, and we found, I think it's like a Wormies or something. It was this cute little dinosaur thing, and you could warm them up. And you know, I think we forget that we all can benefit from fuzzy soft stuff.
Right? We're still humans, and we're still little beings inside there. And I don't think snuggliness and cuteness ever goes away.
Well, and that your mom or Brenda sent a picture of him snuggling with it, like it was adorable. And you just never grow out of stuff like that. And there's so much value, and it's so like this bear is so cute.
I know every time I watch you squish, I just want to like do it myself.
Right.
So even though it's unique in the sense that it's spreading the positive affirmations of hope, right? You get a birth certificate, so you can name the bear. You can personalize the bear by sending in an article of clothing from a loved one and have a little outfit made. We have 2 little patterns that we're using. Cool. And that's included in the price of the bear. And there's free shipping in the US for the founding members. So the first.
Okay, so wait, let's go back to the clothing item and make sure that that's really clear. That comes with the price of the bear?
Yes. So you can send in, if you had a favorite blouse from your mama or somebody that you love dearly or a child, you can send that to us and we'll make a little outfit out of it for your bear and send it back.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I wasn't really sure what that meant, but that's really neat.
Thank you.
Like, I love that idea.
Thank you. So even though it's unique in those, what was that?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So even though it's unique in that aspect, the part that makes the bear the most unique is that you're investing into the legacy of the women on the land. Thousands of women are going to benefit from the founding members and anybody from that point on that invests in one of these bears. So we're not only just transforming the life of the little holding it by sharing the positive affirmations and love, we're transforming the lives by not just buying a piece of dirt, but helping us to be able to buy the land, develop the land, and help these individuals be the very best person that they can be. That's the beauty that makes us so unique.
I have to cut in here because I felt that for the first time in a way that I haven't felt it before.
Thank you.
And this time when you said you're helping with the legacy of the land and the women on the land, that really struck me. And I'm hoping that you as the listener heard that. You know, we hear a lot of things about build your legacy and legacy this and legacy that. And sometimes it feels like it's just a word that's tossed around or that just means, you know, it can be tied a lot with dollars and how do I want to say this? If you're in a place where you want to help build legacy and you're unsure what your legacy is, maybe quite possibly your legacy could just be supporting other people in their businesses who are creating these safe spaces or these organizations that are helping better the world, that maybe you yourself don't necessarily have to go out and spend all the energy and the time. And maybe that's not what you're interested in, but that your legacy can be that you support these kinds of things, that you support the Baby Bears Club and the Visions of Hope, and that I love how you said that you're supporting the legacy of the land and the women on the land. Like that really struck me. And so you as the listener, this is my invitation and maybe even a bit of a plea that if you're unsure what legacy means to you or how you want to fulfill or portray that in your own world, that maybe for now you just share with those who are building it and you be a part of the building and the goodness that goes on in the building until maybe it sparks something in you that you go, oh my gosh, I've been inspired by Baby Bears Club and Visions of Hope, and I I now have my own thing that I want to do. It's when I look at sometimes I still look at dollars. I'm like, oh, that's a lot. But then I go, but wait, I'm assisting with this,
Yeah.
and I know that the dollars are going to go to this beautiful vision and dream that you have, and so I'm inviting, and this is again, it's a plea. Help out Visions of Hope, assist their mission and what they're doing, and the women and the prodigy that will come from those women, the legacy that's going to go on for years and years and years to come because you chose to purchase a bear
Absolutely.
or two or 10.
Yeah, it's Christmas time. I mean, how much money do we spend on gifts anyway?
Right.
And this is something that's helping a bigger cause. All while you're spreading your own love, right?
Well, yeah, ripple effect, like how much that can impact women's lives and the lives that they touch moving forward because they got a different chance, a different way to look at the world.
Well, and again, the legacy piece of that, like we call it hand up in our world, where it's not a handout, but it's a hand up where we're lending our energy to someone who's already in process of healing or expending energy to do different in their world and to create something different for themselves. And I feel like Visions of Hope is this beautiful, and Baby Bears Club, this beautiful opportunity for a hand up where we're lending our energy to theirs and we're putting them together to create this magic. I have a story of where that comes from for myself. We'll share it another time, but it's not a handout because you guys are giving the skills and the tools to help and assist these women to actually apply them into their worlds and see how it fits. But here's the better part for me is they're going to teach that to their children, and their children are going to live differently. And then they're going to teach it. Like this is how we change the world, friends.
Yes.
Is we rebel against some of the other places and we say, nope, I'm going to buy a bear because I can see, like, rebel against what your mind tells you about cost, or is this real, or does it go, whatever it's going. Yeah. Follow your heart, like listen and follow your heart, because this is powerful.
Thank you. Thank you. It is actually really powerful. I'm very excited about it. Very excited about it. Our goal is to sell all 3,000 bears before the end of December.
Okay.
And then turn right around. We'll be able to start shopping for our land because I've been telling my board of directors through my nonprofit for years. And now through my for-profit businesses, I've been telling them when I have my first 100,000, I'm going to go shopping for our land. Now, granted, it's going to take a lot more these days to get that land, unless, good Lord, just bring somebody that wants to give it to us, however that works.
Right? Unless you're someone out there who owns land and wants to help donate to an amazing cause and
Right?
make it happen even faster, and, tax write-offs and legacies and all of those things, we'll hook you up.
Right? Thank you. But that's the goal. I want to sell 3,000. So I'm trying to find the podcasts. I'm trying to find like what you did today. This is a blessing to me. And I thank you so much for being willing to invite me on. But the podcast, the radio talk shows, I do not care where I go. I just need to get the word out there fast because I want to start establishing our land next year. There is such a need out there for safe, clean, sober housing for victims of abuse and individuals coming out of prison that I cannot express it enough. I've been part of a reentry council here locally, just starting to really get involved more with reentry workshops. It is such a need I can't even express. And I've been trying for over 18 years to make this happen. And I finally have my answer.
I'm like, when you sent me the message the other day, seriously, my heart just almost leapt out of my chest because I know, I don't even know, I can't even say that. I have a small knowing of what that bear in your arms means to you.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I want to help you share. And so if you as a listener have it in your heart to share this out. Share the babybearsclub.com with your friends, with your neighbors. Heck, share it with your enemies if you have some. But everybody can benefit from this. Just let's assist Merriann, and let's do the rebellious thing and share this out. Share this out.
Yes, be a founding member. Help change a legacy.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
I love the work that you do. I love who you are as a person and the light that you bring to the world. So thank you.
And I love you too, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Anything else?
I'm just in awe, and I just love how hearing your story of how this vision, started. It reminds me of just how all what Siri had talked about at the women's empowerment retreat. Are we all meant to have our dreams? Maybe not, because it's who we become along that journey, and that dream morphs and shifts as we're taking steps towards it. Baby Bear wasn't in the beginning of that, but he's evolved into it as you've grown and as you've met people. Like, I'm getting goosebumps. It's so wild.
Right. Well, and I want to bring out again I don't know if you as the listener heard the piece where she said, I've been at this for 18 years. 18 years. How many things have you stuck with that really stay on your heart and you stick with it for 18 years? That's a lot of growth. That's a lot of learning. It's a lot of tears. It's a lot of wondering if it's ever going to happen. And you're here. You're here. And it gives me hope. It's inspiring to me in the places that I'm at.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's more real now than it ever has been.
Oh my gosh.
And I could tell you details.
It's not even my project.
I could give you details of what the land looks like, what the community gardens look like, the farm, the corporate headquarters. I could give you details into colors, the budget for 7 full-time employees. I've had it all for many years.
I am excited when we bring you back on again and we have that conversation and we share with our friends and our rebels and what that is and how they can be involved in that piece of the process. So I just appreciate your stick-to-itiveness, that it what's the word I'm looking for? Just the
tenacity.
The tenacity, but the willingness to just keep going.
Well, I can't say that it's been me. I can tell you the good Lord's kicked me in the behind many times when I've wanted to give up, and I'm like, "Are you really sure?" Because this isn't looking like what I thought it should look like.
Right. And he's like, "Right, it's my vision anyway."
Right. He would bring a sign to me, and that sign was always just keep moving, and he would always renew my strength. That's his promise. But the cool thing is that he says also in Ephesians 3:20 that if you can imagine it or think it, you're not thinking big enough as to what you're able to do with the Spirit of the living God in you. So it's exceedingly abundantly greater than what I could ever think or imagine. So I'm in awe thinking about it, because I can imagine what the land looks like, and our Clydesdales and our horse and our sleigh rides and our wagon rides for the self-sustainability of the property. I can see all of that. And if he says it's going to be bigger,
right, he's like, but let me show you what it's really going to be like.
We ain't seen nothing yet.
Right? I can't, like, I'm so excited, and we'll do what we can to help spread the word, and let's get 3,000 friends, rebels, neighbors.
I appreciate
Let's get 3,000 of these bears around the world so we can get the next order going, and we get that land purchased so we can come back and share the vision that's really the vision.
Absolutely.
And let's see how God unravels in all of our lives. Absolutely. And, I think maybe that's what I would want to end with today, is just a whole bunch of tears of gratitude for my own lessons of really learning to surrender and to have my own visions and to see them not pan out how I want them to pan out, and to hear God say, hang in there. Hang in there. Greater things are coming, and it's greater than you can imagine. So thank you for that validation.
I love you.
And thank you to our creator, whatever you call it in your world.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we would love to hear your stories of how life unravels for you when you choose to surrender and really co-create with your creator.
Absolutely. And we have so much to be thankful for.
Oh man.
So I want to tell you and all your beautiful listeners, have a beautiful, blessed Thanksgiving season and Merry Christmas. Celebrating the birth of Christ, my birthday. I turned 56 on Christmas Day this year. I'm so excited. What? I love this chapter of my life. I love Christmas. I get to share it with like the best of my life.
And again, a reminder, it's never too late.
It's
never too late.
Never too late.
Keep going, keep following your dreams. And if you haven't, start now. Absolutely. Start now. Join the 100 Days of Expansion if you want to just get going. If you want some extra support, some extra loving in that process, we're here for you. Merriann's here for you. And we have lots of other people who are here for you. So
absolutely. Look at the crowd. Look at the people. And you know what? Your past doesn't have to dictate your future. It's a choice. You have a brand new, fresh start today. It's a choice.
Every day.
Yep.
Thank you for that. And we're going to leave that as the parting thought. Every day is a choice, and it's a new day. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, Merriann, I love you so much. Thank you.
I love you, my friend.
Have a blessed Thanksgiving with your family or whoever you're celebrating with. And we'll be making our purchase of Baby Bear here very soon.
Thank you so much. God bless you, my friend.
And you as well. And to you listening to us today, thank you for sharing your space and your time and your heart with us. And we look forward to seeing pictures with you and your baby bear or who you're giving baby bear to. And in fact, let's start a family photo album.
And we'll post it. We'll post it on the website too and share your stories and your testimonies. I want to hear them all.
There you go. We'll put it on your website. We'll put it on ours and on our Righteous Rebel Facebook page. Family, I love it.
I would love to know why you're purchasing it and why what's your why you want to help out. That'd be awesome.
I love it. Family photos, they're coming soon. I can't wait to see them. You guys, we love you so much. Remember, whatever you do, just remember that you're loved. You're not what's happened to you. You're not, it's just experiences for your growth. And if you want or need assistance, reach out. There's a lot of people, including us in our group, but there's people beyond that. And if you don't know and you don't want to talk to us, we can find other people for you, but reach out. You're not a lost cause. You're not hopeless, and you don't have to carry the shame that maybe you've been carrying, because you're great. You're great. You're already great. And we're so excited to let you know that. And with that, we're going to end with be bold, be brave, be a rebel. We'll see you soon.
Bye.